According to the law of karma or the law of governing activities, if we act, just a second, yes, if we act properly and perform pious activities, we are awarded by good fortune. And if we act sinfully, we have to suffer. So, before moving forward, in our previous class, we discussed that whatever we speak, it really matters. So, I remember there is one shloka, not shloka, sorry, one quote related to this, that if we smile, so we can make many friends. And if we keep silent, so we may avoid many enemies. This is very beautiful quote. That if we are simply smiling and we are greeting people by saying Hare Krishna, so those people can be our friends. So just like when I go for a walk to take flowers for Krishna, so there are many people who go for walk. So I even don't know them. I just walk while chanting. So just by they look at me, I look at them, and I just smile to them. I greet them with Hare Krishna, and they are like in habit of greeting me with Hare Krishna. So smile can make many friends. You can make many devotee friends just like that, who will in some way be in connection with Krishna. And silence, if you're silent, then you can actually avoid many enemies. So if there is any person who is being rude on you, you know, so if you're not speaking anything to them, if you're not replying to them, you're simply silent, then you can actually be saved. That person will, like, if you will speak to them, if you will reply to them, then that anger, that envy in their hearts, in their the anger that they have in their heart, that will increase more. This happens, right? It is same as putting clarified butter in fire, so that will increase the flame of fire if we will put more of oil or clarified butter to it. So it's same like that. If any person is showing anger and you are replying them, then that will increase their anger more. But if you are you just remain silent, you're not speaking anything to them, so that will you just don't speak. I know it is very much difficult that we at that time, especially, we speak very softly to them. If someone is shouting on me, shouting on us, and if they are showing anger to us, so it is very difficult that we speak very politely to them with so much of love. So better solution is that we remain silent. So this quote was amazing. Okay. So law of karma is that whatever we do, that will come back to us. This is for sure. Okay. So if we perform pious activities, we are awarded by good fortune. And if we act sinfully, we have to suffer. Therefore, 𝗲𝗵𝗵 Goswami says, now here comes the shloka. It is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Thus, तस्मात् पुरैवाश्रिवपापनिष्कृतौ यतेत मृत्योर्विपद्यतात्मना दोषस्य दृष्ट्वा गुरुलाघवं यथा भीषक् भीषक् चिकित्सेत रुजां निदानवित् तस्मात् पुरैवाश्विवपापनिष्कृतौ यतेत मृत्योर्विपद्यात्मना दोषस्य दृष्ट्वा गुरुलाघवं यथा भीषक् चिकित्सेत रुजां निदानवित्. You should know that you are responsible and okay, so basically this shlok is about uh, doing some type of atonement, which we say praishchit in Hindi language. So if any person, if he has done any sinful activities, so he should do some praishchit. He should accept some type of atonement so that he may get rid of those sinful activities. So this is what Shukdev Goswami ji is telling here, that you should know that you are responsible, and according to the gravity of your sins, you should accept some type of atonement as described in the Shastras or scriptures. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam 6.1.8. Okay. Just a second, let me just search English word of praishchit. Yeah, it's atonement only. Okay, let's continue with this word only. Atonement. So atonement means praishchit. Just as doctors are sought when one is diseased, according to the Vedic way of life, there is a class of Brahmanas to whom one should go for prescribed atonement for sinful activities. So now this is very much amazing thing that in our scriptures, atonements are already given for whatever sinful activities people perform. That can be, they may do it by their own wish, or they might do it unconsciously, but there are atonements of every sinful activity. So one should accept those types of atonement to get rid of all the sinful activities. But will it not be difficult? First of all, it is very much difficult to understand, to know that what all sinful activities we have actually performed in our lives, consciously or unconsciously. And after that also, if we try to accept some type of atonement, then that will also be very much difficult. Is it not? So it is given here that there are different types of atonement. If a person commits a sin and counteracts it by penance, that is atonement. So before this, there is one example. Just as doctors are sought when one is diseased, according to the Vedic way of life, there is a class of Brahmanas to whom one should go for prescribed atonement for sinful activities. Yes. So if one himself is not able to understand that what sinful activities I committed consciously or unconsciously, then one should visit a Brahmana. Just like if any person is diseased, so to get rid of his disease, he will go to a doctor. So same way, if any person has committed any sinful activity, so he should visit a Brahmana. But it is important that that person should be a Brahmana. Today you will see that people, they are born in so-called Brahmanical families, but they are actually not uh, practicing any purity in their life. They are not even able to quit their coffee or tea. They consume onion garlic as well. This is very common, right? And then also they are so much proud that, yeah, we are Brahmanas. So this is important that that person should be a Brahmana. Who is a real Brahmana? Real Brahmana is the one who is actually devoted to Krishna. So devotees of Krishna are the Brahmanas. They are even great than Brahmanas because they have sacrificed their lives in serving Krishna. So yeah, it is very, so this is also very much difficult to find a real Brahmana. People will not be able to even find a devotee. Do you have any devotee in your neighbor? No, right? So it is very difficult. So yes, this is one thing. Then another thing, it is given that if person commits a sin and counteracts it by penance, that is atonement. There are examples of this in the Christian Bible. Shukdev says that one has to execute the prescribed atonement according to the gravity of his sinful activities. So, in whatever quantity he has committed the sinful activities, he should he should execute to the prescribed atonement according to that. A physician may prescribe an expensive medicine or a cheap medicine according to the gravity of his disease. For a headache, he may simply prescribe an aspirin. But if there is some severe illness, he may prescribe a surgical operation which will cost thousands of dollars. So, in whatever quantity any person has committed sinful activities, he may accept that type of atonement which is described in our scriptures. Similarly, sinful activities are diseases. So one should follow the prescribed cures to become healthy. This is very amazing line. Sinful activities are diseases. And because of this only, you will see any person who is habitual of, you know, committing sinful activities. That can be any sinful activity. He is being cruel to others, cruel to animals, killing animals, consuming them. So I raised this point in that vegan group also. What those people were doing. I'm not criticizing anyone, please. This point came in my mind that those people in that group, they were showing that not showing, they actually love animals so much. They have so much affection for animals in their heart. So they don't even call them animals. They call them with the word non-human beings. This was quite amazing. We are human beings, and those animals and birds, they are non-human beings. Anyways, so yes, what they were doing is in that challenge, they were asking to make different recipes every single day. using different ingredients. So on some day they were, you know, they were asking to make a dish. They were asking to make a dish which is, I don't know how to put it. Just like, egg. Egg is not vegetarian or vegan. It comes from chicken, hen. Not hen, chicken. So, yes, hen only, not cock, hen. So, now anyone, they can't consume egg, omelette or something. So, they were actually trying to prepare those recipes, omelets and stuff, in artificial way. So, they were calling it vegan omelette. Now, these words are really not nice. I really don't like all these words. So, they were calling it vegan omelette or vegan meat or whatever things, whatever terms are there for non-vegetarian food. They were calling it as this is vegan meat, this is vegan that, this is vegan that. So, I just, you know, put this point that if we are aspiring to follow this vegan lifestyle, that means we have affection for the animals in our heart, right? That's why we are encouraging other people also to follow this lifestyle. Then why are we craving for the artificial, like why are we, when we are making these artificial versions of vegan omelette, vegan meat, vegan that, vegan this, then we are actually craving for, we are still craving for the bodies of those animals. And we are trying to satisfy our tongue in artificial way. So what does vegan meat means? That it is not made using the, flesh of an animal, but it is made from any vegetarian or vegan sources, but it will give you satisfaction. It will taste like meat only. So when you are actually, keeping affection in your heart, compassion in your heart with for those animals, then why are you artificially trying to crave your tongue by making, artificially you're trying to make those whatever non-veg food. So this is really, striking point that if we have affection for animals, but if we are trying to make vegan versions of non-vegetarian food, which will give us the same taste, then we are still craving for their bodies. Is this real compassion? So this point was really striking for those people, and they were really, pondering about this thing that, yeah, this is true. And some of them replied, commented on that post, and some were like, yeah, let it be. But later, one of the mentor of that group, she replied that, yeah, this is something amazing point, but it's just people who have just started following vegan lifestyle, and from so many years they have been habitual of consuming that non-vegetarian food. So it is difficult for them to quit non-veg. So that's why, to give that same taste, they are kind of experimenting with the recipes like this. But this is really striking point that if you really have compassion in your heart for animals, then why are you artificially trying to satisfy your tongue? You're still craving for their bodies. And this is really not compassion. Anyways, So I don't know from where this point came. Yeah. So we were discussing that sinful activities are diseases. So you will see any person who is whose consciousness is so much contaminated, and the very reason of contamination is these sinful activities. The more any person, the more he will, engage in sense gratification, especially more of sinful activities, just like consuming non-veg and stuff, then more it is becoming the reason of his contaminated consciousness. His consciousness is becoming more and more contaminated, and it will be more and more difficult for him to grab this auspicious knowledge. Now, it is not like this that any person who is committing sinful activities, he cannot practice bhakti yoga, he cannot practice spiritual activities. It is not like that. If he will chant Hare Krishna, then this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra will definitely purify his consciousness with great speed. So you just make sure that you make people chant Hare Krishna. Very amazing point which I want to share with all of you. So, like from few weeks, that Prabhuji, Western Prabhuji, he was chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, 11 Maha Mantras. So I was little bit hesitant to ask him to chant 108 times, one round of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because it might be a sudden jump, that 11 Mahamantras, then now 108 time Mahamantras. Definitely, I would tell him that I was little hesitant. But guess what? As he is hearing these classes, so he himself told me this thing yesterday, that today I chanted 16 times Mahamantras, because I heard the significance of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra 16 times. So I told him, no, it's not 16 times, it's 16 rounds. So later I told him, one round means 108 times Mahamantras. So he said, oh, then how long will it take to chant 16 rounds? So I said, don't worry, you just start with one round. You just start with one round. Chant 108 times of Mahamantras. That is enough for you for now. And he was like, yes, this is amazing. And I want to do it. So now he has started chanting one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So I'm just, observing this thing, that how Krishna paves way. If you have heard about the Matsya avatar of Lord Krishna, the fish one. So in that incarnation, Krishna expands himself. He expands the size of his body, transcendental body, in that incarnation. He expand the size of the body gradually. So same way, anyone, if he once comes in contact to Krishna, anyway, of course he should be sincere, he should be, he should not be offensive, because intentions really matters. So you will see Krishna actually expands himself gradually. Expands what? Krishna expands his love in the heart of those people who somehow came in contact with him. Can you really relate with this? that we also started from 1 or 2 rounds of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and we were not regular in hearing classes. But gradually, Krishna expands his love in our hearts, and it is just ongoing. It just go on. It just go on. Krishna is like this. Krishna is amazing. So, yes, so this is one point which one should understand, that people, and today in some way or other, people are committing sinful activities. Even if any person, he is consuming very nice sattvic food, but if he is not offering it to Krishna, then also he is actually consuming sins. In Bhagavad Gita, uh, third chapter, 13 shloka, Krishna tells this thing, that any person who is consuming something before offering it to me, he is merely consuming sins. So we should just try to connect people in some way or other with Krishna. Because just with one holy name of Krishna, all his sinful activities will vanish away. And now whatever service he do in connection to Krishna, whatever service he is doing for Krishna, he's chanting, he's consuming prasadam. So his contamination, his contaminated consciousness is getting purified. Sinful, all these sinful reactions, activities are already vanished away. Now it's just his contaminated consciousness is getting purified. So yes, sinful activities are diseases. So one should follow the prescribed cures to become healthy. By accepting the chain, of birth and death, the soul accepts a diseased condition. Yes, actually this body is the reason of all our diseases. Because this body is there. But it's not like if one will finish this body, then he'll get relieved from all these diseases. No, he will get another body. So one should try to work on the permanent solution to get rid of these diseases. So by accepting the chain of birth and death, the soul accepts a diseased condition. The soul is not subject to birth, death, or disease because it is pure spirit. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that a soul has no birth, na jayate, and that it has no death, mriyate. So here comes this shloka. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. For the soul, there is never birth or death. Why? Because we are fragmental part of Krishna and Krishna is eternal. So we have the same qualities of Krishna. I read one quote where Prabhupada ji mentioned. Basically, Prabhupada ji was telling this to his disciples, that any person who, okay, I'm not able to remember that nicely. We will discuss that quote in detail in our next class because time is also up now. We'll be continuing the discussion in our next class if Krishna's will. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.